You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome in. It is the Outspoken Network Sportscast edition. We got your episode 197 here for you. It's just a headline edition. I'm going to go through solo here and give you some NBA playoffs. We're going to give you a little bit of MLB update as well. It's still early on in the season there, but we got the NBA playoffs started. We got a deal done for the Washington Commanders, and we're going to get into some Major League or some NBA drama as well, guys. I'm glad to be back. We're going to hit it all right after this, guys. All right, guys, welcome in. It's good to be back. I've missed the last couple Fridays, and I get it. Today is a Saturday, but I'm going to jump on and give a solo episode here, and then we'll have another episode coming out later tonight as well, hopefully with Craig. So, excuse me, bear with me. I am dealing with some allergies, but I'll get into why I've missed the last couple episodes in the last section of the show. But it's good to be back, and I am going to talk about first the NBA playoffs. I think that's the biggest thing right now is NBA playoffs, and then obviously Major League Baseball is back in here, and I've all been playing is MLB The Show, and what a fantastic game that is, and how realistic that is. But thanks for tuning in, jumping on. As you can see behind me, I do have my hat collection. I just set up my man cave in the garage. I got my awesome table here, my new ring light that changes all sorts of different colors. I got a couch, a TV. I got this awesome LG speaker over here. So I got my man cave set up now. I just need an AC because it's a little warm out here, but I'm going to go check that out in a little bit. All right, guys, let's jump into the NBA playoffs. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I haven't been as tuned into the NBA this season as I should have. The Mavericks have been. It's been a bit sad story for the Dallas Mavericks. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But the NBA play-in games are over. We know the breakdowns of the playoffs. So the Eastern Conference is going to start there. You got the Bucks as the number one seed. They are probably the favorites to probably win it all this year, in my opinion. They're dominant. They have a great player in Giannis. Antetokounmpo, I don't know how to say his last name. Giannis is a beast, though, and we all know that. This team is solid. They were a good team last year. They're playing the Heat, which Miami Heat is the number 8 seed, and that is a letdown season for them. They expect to play a lot better than they did this season. We expected them to be better this year. They get the 8 seed, and they end up playing Milwaukee, so they're going to have a tough matchup right off the bat against the Bucks. And we'll see who wins that. I believe they're playing right now. No, the Nets and 76ers playing right now, and the Nets are losing as we speak. But I think the Bucks take this. I just feel like they're destined to go back to the championship. Now, do they win it? I don't know. I guess it's going to depend on who's there. But right now, I think the Bucks are the best team in basketball. And Miami Heat, they could surprise a couple people. They'll probably take 2 games in this series. I don't expect them to win this series. They've got some good players. They've got some veterans. And I'm surprised they're the 8th seed this year, along with a lot of other people. But I got the Bucks taking that series. You go on the next series, you got Boston Celtics with number 2 versus Atlanta Hawks, number 7. Boston's going to take this series. I think, honestly, we're going to have a rematch of last year where it was Boston and Milwaukee going into the Eastern Conference Finals. They're both a good team. Those two, the Hawks just don't match up well. They got Trae Young. We'll get into a little bit of talk about him in a little bit here. But the Hawks just haven't put it together, and I just don't see them going far. This is the Eastern Conference where the top 2 or 3 teams are really strong, and everyone else is kind of okay. They've gotten a little stronger the Eastern Conference has gotten stronger than the last time we talked about it, or the last time over the last couple of years than we thought. Right, the Eastern Conference used to be 2 teams, and that was it. And the Western Conference is kind of wide open. And the Eastern Conference had some strong teams in it last couple seasons, but they've gotten better. But it's really Milwaukee and Boston. And then you got the 76ers there as well. There's the number 3 seed. They're playing the Brooklyn Nets, who are in the playoffs. They're the 6th seed after trading away their superstars and all that drama. They're still in the playoffs. So kudos to them to get rid of the cancer and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant drama there and still made the playoffs, 6th seed. I see them beating the 76ers. I don't. 76ers and Joel Embiid has been an absolute beast this year. Should be, up for the MVP. We'll see if he wins it or not. But the 76ers have got to put it together, right? They're the team that have always been, for the last 5-6 seasons, they've always had talent. They've always been up there in the East, top 3, top 5 in the East, and they never put it together when the playoffs come. And we've got to see that this season for them. I want to see them go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We've got to see it. Will he see it? I'm not sure. But it's time for Joel Embiid to take this team on his back and put this team further into the playoffs and actually make a run for us to take the 76ers for real, because they have let us down in the playoffs. They remind me of my Green Bay Packers. Play really good during the regular season and a lot of letdowns in the playoffs. But we'll see if they get the job done against Brooklyn, which I expect they will. You got the New York Knicks at 5 and Cleveland Cavaliers at 4. This will probably be one of the best playoff series we got. The Knicks are tough. They play well. Brunson over there leading the charge after leaving Dallas in the offseason. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were number 1 at one point in the Eastern Conference, who's kind of taken over and surprised a lot of people this season. This should be 7 games. I've got the Knicks in this one, but it'll be a toss-up, I think, as far as these 2 teams go and play. They'll be really interesting to see this series. Let's see. We go down here to the Western Conference. You got Denver Nuggets, who lead the Western Conference. They're a team that's usually been top 3 in the Western Conference, top 4, 1 or 2, or 3 or 2 or 3 or 4. But they took over that 1 seed this year, and we're going to see if they can go deep in the playoffs. We're going to see if they can hang in there and stay healthy. This team has always dealt with a lot of injuries, but Joker's got to put him on his back, and they got the Timberwolves number 8. The Nuggets will take this series, and Timberwolves are dealing with a lot of stuff there. I just don't see the Timberwolves pulling this one out. You got Memphis number 2 versus the Lakers at 7. I would love for Memphis to win the series. It's a good possibility they might. I think this is more of a coin flip. The Lakers have kind of been on a stretch to be as far as they were out of the playoffs at one point to jumping in to the playoffs and being able to compete there. I was hoping they would miss it, but they didn't. Anthony Davis has actually played really well and stayed healthy on the court for them. And LeBron James has dealt with a lot of injuries this year, and they're still here in the playoffs. So that's good for the Lakers. I wish John Morant had his stuff together, because I would feel better about them winning if he did. But I'm still going to go Memphis here, but I will not count the Lakers out in the series. Then you got the Sacramento Kings versus the Warriors. The Kings have been a surprise of the NBA season. They're the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. They haven't made the playoffs and been there in a long, long time. And the Warriors have been a disappointment this year. They come off of winning the championship last year into the number 6 seed here. And I think a lot of people are kind of put them on the back burner, but I think they probably beat the Kings. They have the experience. They got the players to do it, and I've never count out the Warriors with the players they got. Now, that might be broken up after the offseason with all these rumors floating around about guys leaving and Draymond Green and stuff like that. But right now, I'm not counting the Warriors out. I think the Warriors win the series and beat the Sacramento Kings. The Kings have made a great run. They have had a good season. I just think it falls a little short here against a more veteran coach, a veteran team that knows how to win these playoff games. Then you got Phoenix number 4 versus the Clippers at number 5. And the Clippers have been a disappointing team ever since they made those blockbuster trades to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They've been disappointing. They haven't put it together. I think they blow it up at the end of the season if they don't have successful run in the playoffs. I just don't see it. I just don't see it with them. Like, Kawhi Leonard doesn't play enough games. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it didn't work out. The Phoenix Suns win this series, in my opinion. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I think just the experience of them and Kevin Durant will get past the Clippers. You know, Kawhi Leonard's got to play. And I just don't know. That's the biggest thing for him. The biggest thing with him is he doesn't play a lot of basketball. And I think it's been a shock to them as far as how much basketball he misses, just sitting out games. But I don't know. It's been an abysmal get for them, I think, in my opinion. I mean, they made the playoffs, but they have not been successful as far as what you would think. Getting those two kind of guys there. It's almost really bad as far as when you're looking at, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant up in Brooklyn, and then they add James Harden, and that all fell apart. I would say that one's worse than the Clippers, but the Clippers, if they're not successful in the playoffs this year and they don't go take a deep run, I could see them blowing it all up. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did, whether they fire the coach, where they see they can trade away one of their stars, where they trade away Kawhi Leonard or something, because he's not playing games and he misses more than anybody else for just rest. So that's your NBA playoff matchups. You got some games on today and throughout the weekend. So if you're interested to look at those, go watch the playoffs. I'm interested to see who will be there at the end. I'm probably going to go Milwaukee and Denver would probably be my guess, but we'll have to see. All right, guys, that was your NBA playoffs. I saw something interesting the other day. It popped up and said that Trae Young and the Hawks are interested in trading Trae Young, which I was kind of took me off guard here of what else. I mean, what else are they going to do? What else? Why are they trying to trade away their stars? Where I'm getting, why are they trying to trade away their one player that is been really good for them? Does he not play well with others? Do they not like him in the franchise anymore? What is going on? I don't know. I don't. That's just. It's shocking to me that they would want to trade him. I don't understand. Trading away your star. I just don't get it. I mean, you would get quite a bit back for Trae Young. Maybe they feel like he's not the guy. I just don't know. Blowing it up this early is kind of a little shocking to me. Probably shocking for Atlanta Hawk fans, but we'll see what they can get back for him. If they do trade him, maybe they don't think he plays well with other players and they can put a team around him to succeed. I'm not sure, but it's kind of crazy that they're already looking at moving on from Trae Young, in my opinion. You got the Mavs. We could be dealing with the same situation. The Mavs derailed the season, and my question is, who's to blame? Who is to blame for the Mavs' abysmal season? And I put a little short out there the other night on TikTok and YouTube about the derailment of the Dallas Mavericks. And my new little light here, I had – where'd it go? I had the alarm sounding. I had the red alarm going off. There it is. Sound the alarms in Dallas. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Is it Mark Cuban's fault for not putting a good enough team around Luka? Is it Jason Kidd's fault for not playing their third best scorer and refusing to play him as many minutes as he can? Is it Luka Doncic? Now, I'm not going to blame Luka. Not at all. He's our best player, and he does a lot for this team. But Luka's frustrated, guys, and you can see it. You can see it. He came out this season and said it. I'm frustrated. The game has not been fun this year. It's not been fun at all. And that really scares you if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, and it scares me being a Dallas Mavericks fan. Look, I'm not a Mark Cuban fan at all. I think a lot of the blame is on him and not putting enough talent around him and paying guys terrible contracts. And the worst part about this is, I said it last year, when the Mavericks made the playoffs, I did not expect them to go as far as they did. I did not really think they were a championship team, even though they made it to the Western Conference Finals. And I came out and said, this is the worst thing that's going to happen for the Dallas Mavericks, because Mark Cuban can sit back and go, hey, I don't got to spend any more money. Look what we did, what we had last year. We were this close. And that's the kind of thinking you don't want. Him and Jerry Jones are quite a bit alike in that, in my opinion, that, hey, look what we did last year. We don't need to go out and make these splash trades. We don't need to spend a bunch of money, and we can still have winning seasons and be successful. And Mark Cuban is not spending the money he needs to spend. He's not spending the money smartly. He has bad contracts. They're talking about signing Kyrie Irving. What's next for Kyrie? They did go get him, and I do think that was a ballsy move this offseason to go, or during the season this year, is to go get Kyrie Irving. I do think that was like, okay, all right, he finally put something on the table. Well, maybe Luka said, hey, go get him. Maybe Luka said, this is a guy I want to play with, make it happen. And they did. And it didn't work out. To me, it's weird that you add a superstar to your team and miss the playoffs. It's kind of interesting that has happened. They added a superstar middle of the season, and they missed the playoffs. They got worse. I don't know if Kyrie and Luka play good together. Kyrie, I've told you how I thought about him a billion times. He's a cancer on the team. He's a cancer wherever he goes. This year for the Mavericks, though, he's been pretty quiet, laid back. He's come out and played pretty good. He's had some injuries. When he plays basketball, his skill is there. You can see it. There's no denying his skill on the basketball court. He gets others involved. Luka Doncic is really good at basketball, but he's not really good without the ball in his hands. And I think that is hard to find guys to play play with him and put a team together to be successful. So I do think that's a little bit difficult. I think Luka needs to work on that and working off the ball, running around screens, getting the ball and doing what he needs to do with it. But when you got a guy that's not great without the ball in his hands, it's hard to pair guys with him. And I think Kyrie would pair well with Luka because Kyrie does all of that. He works off screens. He's running around without the ball in his hand, and his dribbling skills are one of the best I've ever seen. I just don't know. Do they sign him? Do they trade him? Do they let him go? What's going to happen with him? I'm not trade him, but do they let him go? If they do let him go, it will free up just about a full cap spot where they can go out and get somebody big. But I just don't know what Luka's thinking because obviously Luka's going to have say-so in what happens. And I think Jason Kidd has clearly ran out of his welcome. I think he's lost the team, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying this because of the losing season. There's been a lot of questions in this season. There's been a lot of questions of does he know what he's doing? Why is he not playing Christian Wood? He's our third best scorer. Well, he doesn't play defense. Well, no one plays defense. No one plays defense in the NBA anymore. So don't tell me it's not because he's not a lockdown defender. He's our third best scorer. I just don't understand why he doesn't play the guy. And then you have him being questioned about rotations and all these questions. I really think the fans are getting kind of fed up with. And he'll probably get hey, we're going to, you're on a short leash type of thing. We'll give you another year and see where it goes. But I'm not a big fan of Jason Kidd. He came in here last year and I'm like, man, Western Conference Finals. That's awesome. But this year, he looked like he's been completely looks like he's lost. Doesn't know who to play with who and what roster and rotations and all the question marks we've had about the Dallas Mavericks this season. And it doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. So I'm just, how fast will he be? How fast will he wear out his welcome? Some fans are ready to get rid of him now. I wasn't a big fan of the signing of Jason Kidd, but we'll see. I guess they'll give him another season and go from there. But if I had to answer the question on who's to blame, I'm going to blame Mark Cuban for this and Jason Kidd. I'm not going to blame Luka. I'm not going to blame Kyrie. And Kyrie's been kind of low key and chill when he came to Dallas. He has not been causing a lot of drama, so that's good. But I just really think this falls back on Mark Cuban, not getting enough talent, signing bad contracts with Dallas Mavericks. That's just what it comes down to, simple as that. But we'll keep an eye out. They're kind of saying that this is the big offseason for the Dallas Mavericks to make Luka Doncic happy. They're going to have to go out and get somebody, whether that's keeping Kyrie and adding a third piece, whether that's Kyrie walks and we go get someone else really big. But something's got to happen because right now this ain't good enough. And it's also a really bad look when you get fined $75,000 because you set out your players in a must-win basketball game to make the playoffs. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. It's you quit on this season. You had a chance to win a game and fight your way to the playoff to play in games, and you set out your starters. It's a bad look, whether that be Mark Cuban's deal or Jason Kidd. It's a bad look on all of them, and it's really a shameful and disappointing way to end the season. So there's a lot of question marks on going into next year. And when you end a season with a lot more question marks than you came into the season with, then you're going to have a lot of concerned fans and concerned people. I want to apologize if you hear that noise. My water softener system is making some noise over here, but I guess that's the downfall of putting your man cave podcast room in your garage. But All right, guys. Well, Daniel Snyder is being forced to sell his team. We know this, and it finally looks like it's going to happen as Daniel Snyder's in the Commander sells the Commanders for about $6 billion to a group that includes Johnson, Magic Johnson, and the 76 owner. So they're finally selling the team. Magic Johnson, man, he's a part owner of the Dodgers. Now he's going to be part owner of the Washington Commanders, and maybe they'll turn this team around. But it's fine. It's about time we get Daniel Snyder, a guy like him, out of the NFL, a guy that is just a piece of crap, honestly. All the stuff that he's been accused of and the sexual harassment stuff and how bad he's performed team-wise there and how bad he has just butchered every situation PR-wise that you could think of for the Commanders. It's about time that they sell this. They make him sell his team, and it looks like it's a done deal. I did a short the other night about Odell Beckham Jr. as well. I had to talk about him going to the Baltimore Ravens. They signed him for a 1-year, $18 million deal. Kudos for you, Odell. You got paid. You took the bag of money. And my thought, I said on the shorts, there's no way he goes there without some reassurance from Lamar Jackson. Well, Odell Beckham Jr. came out and said he has no reassurance about Lamar Jackson's contract, no reassurance that he will be there before he signed this deal. So that means basically I took the money. That's it. And Odell is at a point in his career where he can do that, right? He's a veteran. He's a veteran guy. He's coming off an injury. He's already got a Super Bowl ring. You can't really question him anymore about that. And he's at the point where taking a bag of money and going with the highest paid team, regardless of what the season ends next year and where the team's at, regardless of who your quarterback is, he can do that. Kudos to him. It just shows me that, and others you probably have the same thought of you don't care about winning no more, right? You obviously don't care about winning. If you went there without Lamar Jackson being there, without having reassurance of Lamar Jackson being there. And so I thought it was weird that he went there. Who knows who's going to be the quarterback next year? But like I said, he is at the point in his career where he can take the highest paid team and go there regardless of winning. I just thought it was shocking. And I thought it was shocking for the Ravens to go out and get Odell. Odell's not a number one wide receiver anymore. He's not. He's just not. He's coming off an injury. If he went somewhere where he was the second or third guy, fantastic. That would work out great for him. If he goes to Baltimore, he's expected to be number one. And that's not going to pan out too well for him, I don't think, and especially with the quarterback questions. Ryan, always talking about the Cowboys. Ryan, what's up, buddy? He go Cowboys. He says Packers are 3-14 this year, and we might be. I'm still waiting on that Aaron Rodgers trade. Can we get a Cowboys moves and or offseason grade? Why do I always have to talk about the Dallas Cowboys with you? The Dallas Cowboys. Well, look, what offseason moves have they made? Ryan, let's go with that. Tell me what offseason moves that the Dallas Cowboys have made to make them a better football team. I mean, they did get rid of, they're getting rid of Zeke, right? That's good. Are they going? I'm interested to see where they're going in the draft. What do you think they're going in the draft? Ryan Sims, by the way, is, Cooks and Gilmore. That's right. That's what they did. I'll give you my opinion about those two in a minute. But Ryan is the guy comes on I do my draft show with. He is insane. He's insane with the draft in a good way. That probably puts too much time in it, but all right. Well, right. Okay. Well, we're gonna do this for you, Ryan. We'll entertain you here real quick. So Cooks and Gilmore. Now adding Gilmore to your defensive backfield is a decent move, right? He's a veteran guy. He's not the guy he used to be, but he had a good season last year. He's 32, I believe, 31, 32 years old. He's not going to be as fast as he was in New England. But I think it's a solid move. He's better than the guy he had over there, and he'll go really well with what's his face? I can't think of names today. He's going to go well with your other cornerback over there, and I think that the two together, you're going to have a better defense. Cooks, I've already told you, it's a good move. It's a decent move as your wide receiver group, but it's not the all-out splash that if I'm a Cowboys fan would have wanted. I think that's a fair statement. It's not the all-out Odell Beckham or DeAndre Hopkins move, all-in move that you Cowboy fans want Jerry Jones to make. It is a solid get for the Dallas Cowboys, and he'll have this offense going better, and then Gallup going to be a guy? I still think you're still waiting on him to pan out. He did not play very well last season, but Cooks will add something to this offense. You cannot say I'm not going to sit on here. I'm not going to get on here and kill it. But I would want the all-in move, and maybe he is better than OBJ. Maybe because of the injury, we don't know what OBJ is going to be, and maybe that's the hesitation that the Dallas Mavericks or the Dallas Cowboys didn't want to go out and make a move. But if they went out and got DeAndre Hopkins, that would have been like, holy crap! That's the mind-blowing move that I think the Cowboy fans want to see Jerry Jones make. But those two are solid signings. Keeping LVE was a good idea. They were ready to get rid of him over last year. I mean, they signed this option, or they didn't sign his option, and he came out and played really well last year. His rookie season, he played like a beast. I said, this guy's an awesome linebacker, and then he's dealt with injuries, and he dropped off. But last year, he showed that he can be that guy again. So I think keeping him was a really good move. And then your best tackler on your team is Wilson. So getting him to stay, because I believe you told me on Wilson's account that they were predicting on losing him. So getting your best tackler is always a good thing to bring back. And I like the moves the Dallas Cowboys have made so far this season. They've been smart, and they've really filled in some gaps and some holes that the team has dealt with last year. And I'm really interested to see what you do in the draft. Are you going to draft the running back from Texas, Dejon? I'm interested to see if you do that. If you do that and add him to this offense, I think you get better. But I think the biggest question mark is still Dak Prescott, and it's going to be your head coach in McCarthy. And now that he's calling the plays, what are we going to see from him? And he wants to run the ball more. And so we'll see where this offense goes from there. And Dan Quinn still runs this defense, so the defense should still be pretty good. You probably win your division next year, if I had to guess, unless I think the Eagles take a drop back. I don't think they're the team that everyone thought they were this year. Like, I don't think they're going to be consistently with that. I'm interested to see if Jalen Hurts, though, takes another step too. But so far, your Dallas Cowboys have had a pretty good offseason, Ryan. So you got me on record telling you good job so far. Look forward to our show with Ryan, and when the draft gets closer, we're going to do a couple shows. Ryan will come on here and give us his 50 board or 40 board or whatever it is, top 50 players. And he's pretty right. He's pretty good at projecting where these guys are going to go. He told me who Green Bay was drafting this last year, and so I was impressed. I was definitely impressed. I just saw news that Buda Baker has asked for a trade from the Arizona Cardinals. Their safety is wanting out, and that's pretty interesting because this team has been bad news bears. I mean, this team, you get Cliff Kingsbury, who everyone thought was a weird signing. The guy didn't perform in college football, and then you give him an NFL job. And what we told you last year or the year before last, they were overrated. They went like 7-0, 8-0, and then the Green Bay Packers knocked them off their pedestal, and they kind of fell off from there. And you have the back and forth drama with the quarterback and the organization and the open public just making fun of their quarterback. He doesn't play. He doesn't study enough, and we're going to put this in the clause where he has to study and he plays too much Call of Duty and he's too small. All this stuff. They had this big drag out beef with each other. Then they signed the guy, which I was like, why don't you sign this guy if you think these things about him? Why are you signing him? And now this, and then you go and sign a coach who you said you're going to give Kyle Murray some control on who the new coach is going to be, but then you go sign this guy from the Eagles, the defensive coordinator from the Eagles, and I'm not sure that has Kyle Murray's name on it. I don't think Kyle Murray signed up for that, but it's a lot of interest. There's a lot of drama on this team, and this just adds to it. And I think Buda Baker sees his team falling apart. Maybe he's not getting along with the new head coach. I don't know, but he's asking out already, and that's not a good sign for the Arizona Cardinals, if you ask me. If there's any Arizona Cardinal fans out there listening to this, please comment. Let me know what you think, because I think your team has been on such a up and down trajectory of getting a quarterback who most thought was going to be really good. I'm not big on Kyle Murray, never have been. He shows flashes in the pans. He's not consistent enough, but maybe you like him. You get Cliff Kingsbury. They have a couple good years, and then it's been basically a downhill stretch from there. You get injuries. You get and Kyle Murray's going to miss the first half of the season this year, maybe. And then your star wide receiver is suspended for PEDs, and you lose. You make J.J. Watt stop loving football and retires. And it's been a lot of downs right now for the Arizona Cardinals. And rumor was that no one wanted to coach that quarterback, so a lot of drama there in Arizona. Well, we're going to switch it over to MLB right now, okay? Because that's as far as I get with the NFL news right now to come in. I could go on and talk about Aaron Rodgers crap, but that's gotten nowhere, so I'm not going to – I'll leave that for a later date. Let's go ahead and give you an MLB update, and I've been playing MLB The Show. I went out and bought it day one, and it's an absolute fantastic baseball game. Tampa Bay's been tearing it up, 13-1. They lost their first game of the season the other night, and they've been tearing it up. This team, so far so good. A hot start is always great, and you seem to see these teams really kind of just they'll start off hot, and then it'll catch up to them, and they'll kind of level back out, and we all know baseball is a marathon. It's not a quick race. It's a long race. It's a long race to 162 games. Texas Rangers are 8-5, leading the division right now. I'm not jumping for joy yet. We got a long way to go, but they're 8-5. You got Minnesota Twins 10-4, leading the Central there. Houston 6-8, not a great start for them. Atlanta looks really good right now, 10-4. Arizona leading the West as the Dodgers are 7-7, and Arizona's 8-6. So we'll see these standings kind of pan out before the end of the season. The Yankees haven't had a great start to the season, 8-6. They're 2 games above 500. Right now, really, it's Tampa Bay and Minnesota and the Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers coming out of nowhere that really have a way more wins than they do losses. So this is the way baseball goes, and we'll see this flip, and you'll see teams make a run for it. But I'm excited that baseball is back, and And right so far, they say with all the rule changes they've made and try to make the game a better. Rangers winning it all, Ryan. I hope so, buddy. I hope so. We deserve one. We deserve one definitely. We need to go to a game, Ryan. That's what we need to do. We need to get together and we need to go to the new stadium. I haven't been to the new stadium yet. I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't been there yet, but we need to go. Baseball's a long, long stretch, but when you look at don't bring up 2011, Ryan. That's a year that that's a year that Ranger fans want to forget. I get a tear in my eye every time I think about that year for the Texas Rangers. But if Nelson Cruz caught a ball, anyways, he's still playing. That guy's old, but that guy is hitting dingers for the Minnesota, or not for the Twins. Who's he playing for now? He's playing for the Padres now. Anywho, let me get back on track here. Baseball, the rules they made, and I really like the rule changes they have made. It's going to bring back stolen bases, and it already has. It's going to bring more balls in play without the shift, and it already has. I think it's the pitch clock and stuff. I think the players don't like it too much, but I love it. I love a faster baseball game. I love what they're doing with the game right now, and I've watched more baseball this season than I have all the last 2 seasons. I've played more baseball this season than I have the last 2 years. So, and obviously, I mean MLB The Show. I'm not talking about like going out and actually playing baseball, but Ryan, if you're still on here, do you like the rules that the rules they've changed in Major League Baseball? Like, do you like those rules? Do you like the pitch clock? Do you like all that stuff? I'll wait for your answer, but we talked about this plenty of times before. I really like the rules they've changed because they're adding, ways to make the game more entertaining. And adding the pitch clock makes the game go by faster, where these 3-hour games are 2 hours and 10 minutes. And then you look at no shifts. Well, now the ball's going to be in play more. And then you got to think about what is it? It's gonna bring in more stolen bases and more baseball instead of just home runs and strikes out. Ryan says he likes it, but I don't like how it changes the record books. Yeah, that is true. That is true. It is going to change the record books. I think analytics, because analytics played a big part in every sport in this last decade. And analytics to me has impacted some sports fantastic, like football, throwing the ball more, being more aggressive. We love to see that in football. Analytics in baseball, in my opinion, has been the worst. We're not going to make pitchers pitch 7-8 innings. We're going to change them out after 5. We're going to use a bullpen day where our starting pitchers are a bunch of bullpen guys. I'm not a big fan of that. I miss those days where guys come out and shut a complete game. They were tougher back in the day, it seemed like. Analytics and the shift and all that to me is really put a damper on my Major League Baseball love. And this is really, so far, we've seen it where it's more stolen bases, more balls in play, and it's making baseball more fun to watch again. And the pitch clocks and all this stuff. So I really like it, and I think it's a great thing for them, and that they're doing that. And I don't know how the players feel about it. Some players have been outspoken about it. Some players haven't. But it's going to take time for them to adjust to that. But, all right, guys. Well, this is going to be this episode. Solo edition here. Hopefully come on tonight. We're going to answer. So before the season started, me and Craig came up with answers to every NFL team. I did the AFC, he did the NFC, and then at the end of the year, we were going to go over what if they answer those questions. Well, we already did the NFC. We still got to do the AFC. We're going to plan that out and put that out tonight, and have 2 episodes out this week. But I've been really busy. It's why I missed the last couple weeks here. Is I told you guys at the beginning of the show, I was getting my man cave together. I got a nice couch for my in-laws. I got a free 65-inch TV from them as well. And the reason I missed is because when I got off work last Friday, not yesterday, but last Friday, I had to drive to Gun Barrel City, which is 2 hours away from here, rent a U-Haul, load up stuff from what they were going to give us, and then drive it back. So I missed that weekend. And then my Logan helped me out with all of that. So I took Logan out last night to thank him for helping me. And I plan on doing one when I got back last night, but I was super tired. It was 9:30 and I didn't have the energy to bring. And so, as you can see, I got my hats hanging on the wall. Got a pretty cool little setup here or there. I got a new ring light that you see. And now I'm in the garage. So if you hear some noises, that's my freaking water softening system. I got this huge boom box that'll blow the walls off this house. I got a nice couch. Like I said, I got a standing desk where it goes up and down, and I can stand or sit and go from there. So I'm getting my man cave set up, which I'm excited about. I got to go get an AC and put in here because in the summertime, I'm not going to be in here if it's too hot. But that's why I missed the last 2 weeks. But we're putting out 2 episodes today and one tonight. So look forward to those questions and answers for the NFC teams later on. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. God bless, and remember to keep it outspoken.